Hi everybody, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts, and today's special episode will be talking about the dinosaur called Rugops. And want to get a good view of what Rugops looks like? Here he is. Now what you can tell here is that Rugops is a bellysaur, carnivorous dinosaur. And the bellysaurs are medium-sized predatory dinosaurs, and they actually have short snouted heads, and they usually have either horns or crests on their heads, mainly for display, and they're usually kind of odd looking dinosaurs, and they have very short arms, shorter than T-Rex, keeping that in mind. As for its size, it's been known to be 25 to 30 feet long, and possibly weigh 2 to 3 tons. And pretty much it lived in northern Africa, the same time as some of the other predatory dinosaurs that were around in its time, like Spinosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus. And it was discovered by a paleontologist in Chicago named Dr. Paul Sereno, and he has made numerous discoveries throughout like the past 20 years, and he is like the quintessential discoverer of new species of dinosaurs. Most of his expeditions have been in South America and in Africa. So mainly in Africa is where he actually found some of the most iconic discoveries. But anyway, Rugops' environment would have actually been in like a swampy area, or otherwise it could have actually lived in densely forested areas, but it could actually hang around near rivers and all that kind of stuff. But really, when we actually talk about the anatomy of Rugops, it has a weak skull, not very strong bite force, and also has very short arms, which can't really do anything since they're very stubby. And I would think that Rugops, because since it is a carnivorous dinosaur, I would think it scavenges more than does predation. But even though it could do some predatory behavior, but probably mainly on smaller animals, probably some small reptiles, probably some smaller dinosaurs during its time. But I would say it actually scavenges off of kills of Spinosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus. But I would think it would probably would scavenge off of Spinosaurus' kills, mainly like some ancient fish that it would actually hunt. But I mean, Spinosaurus, not technically a fish eater. I would say it did hunt I would say it did actually go after some other things, probably like pterosaurs and probably smaller dinosaurs. But anyway, Rugops, to my knowledge, I would say that it mainly probably would actually do more scavenging than predation. And considering that bellysaurs are not really that fast in terms of speed, because their leg posture is not really designed because their legs are not really designed for high-speed locomotion. So they're really going to be because they're really hunting, because most of bellysaurs are actually hunting down things that are larger than itself, or otherwise as big as itself, or a little smaller. And so it would actually be more of a specialized kind of dinosaur for what some certain prey can go after. Now I would think that Rugops, with its size, it could probably be just probably more like a jackal. A jackal would probably be a good model for Rugops as a modern day animal comparison. Because since jackals are mainly scavengers, they don't really hunt down that much of prey. I mean, they can go after smaller animals so that it could actually just keep itself alive. Considering that jackals are mainly scavengers, they're really going to be only depending on kills from other predators. So, but even though I would say that, but if we look at the brain, like some of the brain comparisons of some predatory dinosaurs, abelisaurs have a very primitive brain, so it's not really going to be like in the higher IQ category of dinosaurs, because the highest IQ of dinosaurs are the troodons and the dromaeosaurs or raptors. So they're pretty much going to be on the high IQ scale. Because then below that would be Tyrannosaurus, then it would actually be the Allosaurs, then probably the Spinosaurus, and then you actually have then you probably have the Ceratosaurs and Abelisaurs below them. And because the lowest IQ scale for dinosaurs are mainly the herbivores. So the herbivores are pretty much going to be the low IQ scale on dinosaurs. Considering that Abelisaurs and Ceratosaurs are kind of related to each other, I would say that they actually probably behave nearly the same way. Probably ambush hunters and probably depended on a certain size of prey to keep itself alive, to have them survive, and also depend on. And I would think that Rugops, living in an environment that is filled with predators, I would say it probably didn't do much of predation on large animals, so because it probably didn't hunt down some of the big sauropods. It probably hunted a little bit of the like juvenile Ouranosaurs, but I would probably say that it probably scavenged off the kills of Carcharodontosaurus and Spinosaurus, because those two predatory dinosaurs, they're just like the top guns in that environment. So don't expect Rugops to win any fights against these kinds of predators. So they're not really going to be that strong of a fight, because their body design is not really designed to have close combat types of battles. So they're pretty much like just make a jab and get out of the way. So it's pretty much how it's actually going to be done for Rugops. But the extinction of those kinds of dinosaurs in that particular time, 100 to 90 million years ago, it would actually, because the environment would have been changing rapidly. The environment would be changing rapidly. The sea levels would have risen, and it would actually change the environment completely. And like the specialized dinosaurs, like Spinosaurus, would have gone extinct. And Carcharodontosaurus would survive a little bit longer because it was actually more of a land-based predator. It can survive more on land than like in a certain environment. Rugops would have probably depended on kills from Carcharodontosaurus from that time. But once Carcharodontosaurus left, due to its specialization on large herbivores, then Rugops is the next in line to go extinct. And so that would actually be the catalyst for Rugops. Rugops would have never survived without those kinds of predators around its environment. And pretty much new predators came in and took over the realms of some of these dinosaurs. And new prey species came about, and they were a little bit smarter, probably a little bit faster. And so they would actually be recognizing Rugops as a carnivore, and probably would have actually escaped a lot easier than what they could from like Carcharodontosaurus or otherwise some of the newer predators, because new predators usually take down the old predators in the new environment. Alright, that's it for now. Now, next week's episode will be answering questions, so if you got a question about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinocris71@gmail.com, or otherwise post a question on the Facebook fan page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page, and keep on following. Also follow me on Twitter with the Twitter account of @CSGrawl, and make sure it's because also my name is Chris, because considering that my name on Twitter is Chris Grawl, but I'm very cautious about who I follow, and so make sure to remind me who you are, so that I can actually so that I know who it is that that is going to be following me. But make sure that on a Facebook post of a question, make sure that you actually leave where you're from, because that way I can actually know where the questions are coming from, and that way I can get to know you a little bit better. And on email, make sure to leave your first name and also where you're from, so that I can actually know who you are and also know a little bit about yourself and where you're from. So make sure you guys do that, because that way I can actually understand who the fan really is and who's the questionnaire and that kind of stuff. Anyway, that's it for now, but make sure to take care of the people around you, and also for younger kids out there, make sure to listen to your parents, your guardians, and your teachers. Those are your best motivation to have a good education. And also since that this is actually a month for supporting the troops here in America, let's give our support to the troops. They are very important, and they actually make this country, make the United States, and also other troops around the world. They actually defend their country, and they also make their country a lot safer. And support the troops around the world here, like the United States, and also all the troops that are actually out there in the world, and also their families, support them, and make sure that they actually have a supporting cast to help them. So anyway, that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next week.